What's going on? Jeffrey Jensen here, and welcome to 2 Minute Tuesday. This is a new series that we want to bring to you guys every week where we give you guys tips in under 2 minutes for fitness and nutrition. So, with that being said, let's throw 2 minutes on the clock and let's dive right in. So, one of the biggest things that's helped me in my journey of losing over 150 pounds is being able to use a food scale. Now, for most of my meals, they're already pre-prepped out by using our company 212. For a lot of you guys use us as well, and for those of you who don't and use another company, this is a great avenue and resource to make sure that you're hitting your macros every single day. But on the chance that you don't use us for every single meal, which most people probably don't, or you're traveling or you just don't have access to pre-made meal prep, it's great to know how to use a food scale to make sure you're really dialed in. The biggest thing I like to use it for is to know that I'm, number one, not overeating, but two, not undereating. I think a lot of people can look at the back of a label and see something like a tablespoon, and you kind of eyeball it and you feel like you know what you're getting, but inevitably you're either overeating or you're undereating. So I want to show you guys two examples today of why using a food scale is so important. The first is going to be with whipped cream cheese. Now, whipped cream cheese is something I really enjoy. I'll have it a lot of times on the weekends if I'm just making breakfast for myself and I'm not eating meal prep. And the one thing that I learned by using a food scale is I measure it in grams instead of using a tablespoon. And what that allows me to do is actually see the proper amount of whipped cream cheese that I can get. And shockingly, I think it's a lot more than most of you guys are going to think. The second thing we're going to do is shredded cheese. And this is a big one because I feel like people love to just take a pinch of cheese and throw it on stuff. And I think in this one, you might be a little shocked to see how much cheese you really don't get for the proper serving size. So let's pull out the food scale and take a look at what these two different cheeses look like when you actually weigh them out properly. Alright, so the first thing you want to do is grab yourself a food scale. I've got one right here. This is a Taylor brand food scale. I seem to have a lot of great luck with these. You can grab them from Walmart, Target, Amazon, and they range anywhere from $10 all the way up to $50. I think this one was $20. But you just want a good food scale that has some functionalities on it. You want to make sure that it has different units of measurement and that it's going to work. One tip I will give you that is something I've kind of learned the hard way is make sure you get one that has like normal batteries, like AAAs or AA's, or even I have one at home that is rechargeable. You can plug it in. I have made the mistake of getting scales in the past that take like a watch battery, and to be honest, it's like who has those laying around at home, and your scale dies in the middle of using it, and then you don't have the watch battery, and it's like super annoying. So I would just recommend getting a scale that takes either normal batteries or one that you can plug back in. Step number two is get something to, put a barrier between your food and the scale. I'm using a 212 food lid. And once you put that on there, you just want to hit the tare button, which is going to zero it out. And then you're just going to want to make sure your unit of measurement is correct. So for cheese, I'm going to do this mozzarella cheese first. We're going to measure in grams. And if you look back here on the label, it's going to say one serving is a fourth of a cup or 28 grams. And so a fourth of a cup, there's a lot of variables that can happen with that. You can pack the cup tightly, you can pack it loosely, it can be over the cup. And so grams are just going to show you exactly what you need. So you're going to want to start out and start throwing the cheese on there until you hit 28 grams. And so once you hit that 28 gram mark, if you're good, like I just nailed it, you'll see that it's perfect. And so 28 grams of cheese is not that much cheese. I mean, it's pretty sparse, okay? And so I think a big problem is a lot of people will just take a pinch of cheese and they'll throw it into a meal, not even realizing how many calories it is. And so this low-fat mozzarella cheese is pretty good. It's only 6 grams of fat. It's got 7 grams of protein and 1 gram of carbohydrates. And see if I can get this in here without making a huge mess. And so that's just good to do so you have some awareness. I obviously think if you've been in the fitness industry for a long time or you've tracked macros for a long time, you don't have to go crazy with a food scale. But I think if you're new to fitness and you're new to nutrition and you're really on a journey like I was where you have a good amount of weight that you want to lose, I think that tracking and using a scale is going to be super helpful because it's going to open your eyes to what you're putting in your body, and it's going to really start to show you the amount of food that you're consuming. So next up, we've got this whipped cream cheese. Here's a big pro tip for cream cheese, peanut butter, anything that is a spreadable that's in a container. If you put the container on your scale and you zero it out, then as you scoop, you're just going to look at the grams in a negative. So a serving size of this is 22 grams or 2 tablespoons. So we're looking for negative 22, and that's just an easy way to be able to scoop out your protein, or not your protein, your peanut butter or your cheese or whatever you're using that's a scoopable content. So this is something that surprisingly, when I started tracking, you get a lot more than you think you should. So with whipped cream cheese, I'm going to go ahead and pull out. I'm looking for negative 22 grams. So like that right there is a pretty big heaping spoon. That's only 16. So let's take a little bit more out. And right there we're at 22 grams. So I mean, that honestly, if you slap that on some toast, I mean, that's a lot of cream cheese. And so whipped cream cheese is a great option because obviously there's air in it, so that fills up a lot of the void. Easier to spread, delicious. And yeah, you get a lot more bang for your buck, so to say, as far as your calories go. But that's 2 Minute Tuesday. Hopefully this video helped you. Hopefully you found some value in it, and I'm definitely sure that we definitely didn't make it under 2 minutes, so sorry for that. But like the video, subscribe if you haven't already subscribed, and we'll see you guys next week for another episode of 2 Minute Tuesday. See ya.